Yeah, are we recording already?
Yeah, we have been recording.
We've been recording this whole time.
Yeah, but it's okay. I'll cut it off like at some point around here.
Okay.
Or around here.
All right.
Or around here.
Yeah.
Or around here.
All right.
Or around. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ayoo Chill podcast. Y'all already know the business. It's been a crazy month, but before we get started, just take a second, like, comment, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have that bell notification on and whatever else you need to remind yourself that you are here with me and Ayoo Chill. But without further ado, y'all already know this guest, but y'all already know the business and how it rolls. My friend, please take a couple seconds, minutes, let the people know who you are and where you're from.
My name is Ethan Ross.
Nice. But boy, dude, actually, I kind of wanted to just hop into
Yeah.
a story real quick because something
I like
happened to me
stories.
recently. And funny enough, I didn't think it would have involved you, but it did. So my friend, one of my best friends, her name is Julia. Shout out her. She is really into, I guess, like funk, I guess you could call it. So like the genre.
Phonk.
Yes,
Not
yes.
Funk, right?
No.
Okay.
Funk, right? So that's like the genre of music that you be
Yes.
making, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of started realizing recently, like, that she really likes that type of music. And even though she showed me before, and so obviously when I had you on last time, I listened to your music, and I'm gonna be honest with you, not necessarily my first choice of music, especially where I was at then. But
Most
then
people I know personally tell me that.
yeah, and it's also
Like,
funny too because
yeah.
it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like funk for me when I was first introduced to it
Yeah.
was automatically connected to like the Giga Chad memes. You know what I'm talking about?
Other people have said that.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of course.
So when I started like getting more into the gym and like going consistently like towards
Yeah.
the beginning of this year, I kind of was like, all right, now like I really want to go through people's discography. So
Yeah.
every guest that I had on, like I've been going through their albums and just
Fire.
listening and going through. And so I was listening to like everything that you had, and I was like, it was really helping me like with my gym. I'm not gonna hold you, like
glad.
I really started really getting into it.
A
'cause I was
lot
just
of
like,
people tell me that.
yeah, dude, it's a
Yeah.
great. If you've never worked out to funk before, you gotta listen to Ethan's music because it's sick. It really helped me a lot.
Yeah,
So
I've heard it helps people in the gym.
I'm in the car with my best friend, and she's like, I was meaning to show her your music for a while.
Is she your best friend or is she your girl best friend?
She's my girl best friend.
So you have like another best friend?
I have best friends, yeah.
Oh, you have more than one best friend?
I would say so. I have like a smaller group. I like to keep like a little tight knit.
I miss having a girl best friend.
Oh, dude, bro,
It's been a while.
they're out there. They're out there. You just got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was in the car and I was been meaning to show her like every time like we chill.
Yeah.
And I never showed her. Like I never like took the second and been like, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen to this song." So I start driving the car and the
Yeah.
song comes up. Or one of your songs come up. I forget which one it was, to be honest. But it comes up and she stops and she's like, "You listen to Ethan Ross?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, dude." And then she's like, "When did you start listening to Ethan Ross?" And I was like, "Dude, like I had him on the podcast before."
Yeah.
And she was like, "What?" She's like, "When?" She's like, how do you know Ethan Ross?" And I was like, "Dude." And she's like, "He comes up in my playlist all the time." And I was like, "That's sick, dude." Yeah. Like, number one, you should have been watching the podcast, bro. Fake as hell. But yeah, dude.
You're saying that to her.
Yeah. So yeah.
So she was previously listening to my music.
Yeah, she was previously listening to your
Wow.
music.
Did
and,
she say?
like,
Did you say? Blah. How did she find it?
I think she like I said,
Like-
she's into funk, so she has like
Oh, so,
suggested
like,
playlists to
Discover
her.
Weekly or
yeah,
something?
yeah, and it
Yeah.
came up in her playlist, and she said she
Wow.
listens to you.
That's huge.
So I just thought it was like a fun little story because it was so funny because like I said, I was like, damn, like you don't even know,
Yeah.
like, and it was funny because I told her, I was like, yeah, I was like, me
That's
and him
crazy.
text here and there, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just a funny little interaction, you know.
Yeah, funk is a scene.
So
So-
tell me a little bit about. I think that's a perfect segue. That little story. Shout out again, Julia. You're the best.
Shout out! I love Julia.
Dude.
Julia's
gotta
the
love
best.
it.
Honestly.
So tell me, that's a perfect segue to get into everything that's kind of happened within
Yeah.
the past couple months. Because I feel like a lot has gone down with you and what
whole
you've been
lot.
up to
Yeah.
since we've last talked. So
Yeah.
talk to me about the beginning of this year, or talk to
Oh,
me where
man.
you've been at since like November.
I feel like between November and now has been one of the craziest times of my life. for like many reasons.
Bet. Start me off somewhere. Start me off at the end of November, beginning of December.
I'll just leave like personal stuff out of it.
Yeah, of course, dude.
But it would probably be more entertaining if I shared all of that too.
Whatever you're down for,
yeah.
we're down for.
Oh man, I've made so much music. It's like criminal how much music I've made between November and now. I dropped a whole album and a single in December. I dropped like 4 songs in January. I dropped like 4 songs in February. March, I don't even know. I think I dropped like 3 songs this month already.
Mm-hmm.
April, I have 4 songs lined up. March, I'm going to have 4. Sorry, May. I've just been making so much music. I've been just like meeting up with producers and doing my best to just like make shit that sounds good to me and get it to the mix and master point where it needs to be. Some of the stuff I've made didn't even really get mixed and mastered, and I still put it out. So
word.
Yeah, there's been like a lot of stuff I've been learning in terms of music. You know, just the making music. I've been learning how to make music more. Really.
Word.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's interesting because I'm kind of wondering if anything has changed in the sense of when you were here last time.
Yeah.
I forget how many monthly listeners you had on Spotify, but it was 100% under 1 million. 100%. I remember that.
I think I do remember the number.
And then when I think it was some point in the beginning of this year where you finally surpassed that like million monthly listener spot, and then it blew up like crazy. Then you had like, I don't know how much time it took you to get to 1 million, but I think like maybe
You want to know something really hilarious?
Yeah, go ahead.
We have a video where we talk about growth being non-linear. And then the way I explained my growth was mathematically in a linear fashion. We're like, yeah, growth is... I can't even talk. People are going to watch this and think I'm very high for some reason. It's the morning, so I can't even help
Low-key,
it.
I was getting that vibe in the beginning, but I was like, I'm going to let him chill.
I don't smoke.
Yes, I remember you telling me
I
that.
also don't eat the gummies or like whatever people do. Why does that sound really like explicit? Eat the gummies. I immediately think of like, you know, I think of that when I think about anything with a gummy consistency.
Yes.
Because I'm like, this is like gummy bears.
So talk to me about...
Oh, that's weird. What I just said was really weird.
It's cool, dude. Anything goes. Anything goes, man.
Oh, boy.
But you were talking about describing linear growth and the exponential growth.
Yeah, so we were here last time, and then you were like, growth is non-linear, right? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's non-linear. You're like, how many monthly listeners did you have at the start of this year? And then we're like, well, I went from 100K to 200K to 300K to 400K to 500K. And literally, I explained the numbers in a linear fashion after saying it's not linear. So we both directly, without noticing it, contradicted ourselves.
Yeah.
And then the funniest part is that you posted it on the Instagram and everybody was commenting like, yeah, this is so true. This is so right. When all of us were wrong. Literally the whole video explains something in a non-linear form. But everyone was like, that's linear. Yes. It's linear growth. And it's like, it's not always like that. It just so happened that the time period which we were explaining it was linear.
Yeah, for sure. There's it's weird because I think overall it's like exponential, right?
Oh yeah.
But in the periods in between, where like, you know, overall big picture exponential. The little parts in between where you have those months where it's like you're growing steadily. I think that's like the linear part of it. It's like a mixture of the two, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a testament to that, like I was saying before, was like, I remember you hit that million and then like, you know, you posted up and you're like, yo, thank you so much. And then a couple weeks later, it's 1.3. Like 300,000 people out of like what seems like out of the blue right?
Yeah.
Like, think about how hard it was for you. I mean, even for a while there, I was like, he's finally gonna break a million. He's finally gonna break a million.
Yeah.
You break a million, a couple weeks later, boom! It's like, no, now you're in like
Yeah.
1.3. So
Yeah.
how
I'm trying to get 2 right now. I'm trying really hard to get 2
word?
million monthly listeners.
And I
That's
think
like my main goal right now.
Yeah, and I think the consistency and seeing you like put out and all
Mm-hmm.
this like has led to that. But I'm kind of interested for the listeners who like see this happening to you.
Yeah.
Were you doing anything different from that point, from when you reached a million and to when it just blew up for a bit?
I think any new resources I had, I just used them immediately.
Like what?
People I meet. Well, I don't like to refer to people as resources, but people offer resources. Like a lot of people view me as a resource or view something I offer as a resource. So I don't really get offended by it. I feel like in music, it's a very there's a word that I'm looking for that I don't know. Describes an ecosystem.
Codependency?
No,
Not codependency.
codependency's bad.
Yeah, codependency. Yeah, actually,
Like the
I
good
don't know.
version of codependency. Like
I don't know. What comes to my mind is like networking and just like an ecosystem, just like people. I get
yeah,
where you're.
it's
I
an
get where you're going at,
ecosystem
though.
where you're like, I can help you, you help me, let's help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to just find people and be like, let's work.
And so you actually mentioned
I
this.
shoot my shot.
Yes.
I need to I definitely could use improvement in the traditional sense. But in the sense of community building in music, I've learned how to just let go and just reach out to people, cuz a lot of people will judge you, but a lot of people will be down.
Mhm.
Even when I was a lot smaller, there were still people who were down. I had to ask though.
I think that's a really cool point because
Worst thing they could say is no.
right.
So when you hit up somebody to work with you, they could be like, they could not answer, and then that's your answer. Or they could be like, yeah, and then it happens, and then the song is fire.
So when you started hitting people up, did you ever see yourself like hitting up? I don't know. I hate using this word of realistic, but it comes up in business all the time.
Yeah, I think realistic is across, like networking across as opposed to up or down. I mean, if you network down, it doesn't really matter as long as like the products. People hate using the word product in terms of art, but like the final piece is fire. It doesn't matter if you network down or across, but like if you're going across to someone who's kind of at your level, you guys are in the same boat, and you guys kind of you both are just like there. You get it.
Yeah.
You just kind of get it. So like if I'm at 1 million monthly listeners and I'm working with somebody else who like just got there, is trying to find out what to do, we're both in the same boat versus like if I'm trying to reach for the stars already and be like, okay, I hit 1 million, let me try to work with Drake. Like obviously it doesn't really mean shit. It's more like I have to be realistic of my standing and humble myself and really join forces with people in a similar standing and be like, how do we get from our level to the next level? Yeah.
That's
What community building is a part of. It's how we can join together given our status and improve collectively at the same time, because collaboration isn't always just like rapper and rapper or singer rapper or like I don't know, artists. Well, we're all artists, but the point I'm getting at is collaboration people look over is a producer rapper or producer artist, or like if you want to use the term beat maker, like beat maker artist. Like a lot of people overlook that because it's like, I don't know, depends on your genre, but Phonk is so curated by producers. It's impossible to ignore. That's why when people tell me, yeah, I want to get in the Phonk scene, but all they really do is try to reach out to the Phonk rappers and not the producers, I'm just like, what are you doing? You're not going to the source. Because if you want to get into Phonk and your way of doing it is trying to collab with me, you're steering yourself in a direction that's going to limit you, because I can't really develop your sound. The producer's going to develop your sound. The bricks to my foundation I worded that wrong. I was given a lot of help laying the bricks in my foundation by producers I worked with, because they helped me cultivate a sound. Me alone, I'm a voice, I'm vocals. I don't produce.
That's actually a really good point, and actually something that I don't think people immediately think about when they're trying to collab, or I think
like, how can I level up my sound? Like, cause one thing about like the whole being of Ethan Ross, the entity, is like people know me by a sound. So people aren't just like, oh yeah, he could spit. I'm not really there anymore. It's like, oh, I fuck with his sound. Like, this dude has a cool sound, which I think is like more meaningful, because it means that like I've cultivated something beyond just like being a wordsmith. Because when I was 14, just to give context, like when I was 14, 15, 16, it was mainly about, oh yeah, he has bars. It's cool. Because I was just a kid rapping in ciphers, and just like I wanted to get out there as an MC, but nobody really listened to my music, because I didn't know how to go to the studio and make something that people wanted to listen to. It was more just like, you ain't half as raw. I throw your casket off, and then I take a bath with salt in a fabric cloth with a Macintosh. And I was like on some Slim Shady shit. And then everyone was like, Eminem clone. And I was like, listen, man, like, how could I argue? I kind of was an Eminem clone for like the first couple years of my career. So.
Word.
And I love that. I love that I had that phase, because that showed me I had to build individuality, which came through building a sound.
Yeah. I think that's actually a really cool point of, oftentimes on the podcast we've talked about how you kind of have an awkward phase whenever you really start and dedicate your life to an art, right? So even
I relate to the whole awkward phase thing.
Yeah, because even with the podcast, dude, I mean, I'm not going to hold you, and I've said this on many podcasts before, my first 10 podcasts, very awkward, very weird, still trying to find my groove.
That's where I am with my content right now. I wouldn't say it's painfully awkward, but I'm just learning the ropes of just like being present on camera.
I like that. I like
Think so?
Yeah, I like
being
that.
present on camera, it doesn't mean like I don't need to be a character, be this, be that. I just need to be in the moment.
Yes.
That's all it really is.
Yes. Funny enough, I was actually talking about this to someone through DMs. She was telling me, she was just like, she's really working on trying to be present. And sometimes I find that issue with myself, where sometimes I might not be present in the moment, or sometimes, it's hard because I feel like I don't want to think about it, but you have to think about it. And I think a lot of times you get these contradictions. Like, I think a lot of the time my best content that I've ever made was always when I just didn't think about it. I just went and was myself.
Wow. Yeah. That's dope. That's really cool.
And there's also other times where, like, you might be setting up something, and you might be, trying to just try something different. Like, for example, content wise, on Instagram, I started posting up. I don't know if you've ever seen. Have you seen the memes with Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Trump, and they're like, you know what I mean, and they're playing like video games or something.
Very funny,
right? So
yeah, my friend shows me those all the time.
Yeah, dude, they're actually really hilarious. And so I try to take the same kind of skeletal structure where on top I have something going where people could look at, which is a time lapse of me editing videos for content, and then on the bottom I have the subtitles going on of what I'm saying.
That's fine.
And so the first one I posted up, I think it had to do with being humble in the industry and not letting like your ego like take over like your life,
Wow.
when you're in this.
Yeah.
And
It's what a lot of us need to hear.
Yeah. And I felt like the first video, I don't know what I was going for.
Yeah.
And I think I thought about it too much because when I was reading it, I was like reading it like very dramatic. And I was just like, don't let your ego take over you and this and this and that. And
That's very funny.
You know, and I put the little cute TikTok music in behind. Like,
You sounded like me right there.
a little bit.
Don't let your ego take over you.
And yeah, I put it out and I looked at it. It was cool content.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like supernatural though. I posted up one today and it felt
Yeah.
way more natural.
Okay, what about it made it feel more natural?
I just didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
rolled with it.
Yeah.
I had with those videos specifically, I pre-planned them in the sense of I read off a script. I usually never read off a script, but I felt with these ones, like especially with the points I'm trying to make across, like today was about mental health. And today was about like
I should probably roll off the tongue.
yeah, it would in a certain sense, but I want to make sure like I articulated exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I have a minute to speak my mind. So in that minute, I'm like, all right, like I want to make sure I hit, you know, that I went through some pain recently. I had to take a day off. Bless you.
Thank you.
I took a day off.
Love that.
And that you know, that it's not easy all the time,
Wow,
but
I'm sorry that you went through that.
yeah, it's been a tough 2 weeks recently, but it's cool. It's cool. Like I think these are natural things that happen. And I think with social media and even making music, you know, there's not a lot of the times we get caught up in hustle culture, you know, and like don't stop and whatever and
Bullshit.
how so?
The hustle culture thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I see people, I don't know. The people I see who do that aren't really people I'm trying to emulate.
Word. Try to get a little closer to the mic with me when you're talking.
Should I repeat what I said?
Yeah, repeat what you
I said the people who engage in that to that degree aren't people that I'd want to emulate because they're not really giving time for other things. And if they really say that that's what they do, then they're leaving out a lot of context because they have a lot of morning routines and they have things that they're doing that they're not expressing.
Yeah.
So people might be like, oh yeah, all I do is work, but they are sugarcoating and they're leaving out the 60% of everything else they do to make sure that they can sustain that.
Yeah.
Life is about sustainability.
Yes.
And a lot of people leave that part out. Like a lot of people know me, well, vaguely know me, and they're like, oh, he makes music 24/7. Like, yeah, I could go on social media and make it seem that way if I wanted to, but I'm leaving out a huge chunk of other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things about people, and there's a lot of things about what people do that we don't know.
You know what? I actually would love to kind of dive deeper into this because I think, you know, when we started this, you were saying how much music you were making.
A lot, yeah.
And I think it would be really helpful for the people who are listening to kind of get into the mind and schedule of how we line stuff up. I don't know if you want to go first. I could go if it gives you more time to think.
Yeah, you could go.
So I was telling you, like, right when we were coming in here that my schedule has changed up a lot where I'm waking up 4:30, getting into gym by 5.
Wow.
In the gym from around anywhere between 5 to 7.
Yeah.
Get home, I do my laundry, cook my breakfast, some house chores. I try to make it to the studio by 8:30. And then from 8:30, I try to stay here till 4, 5, 6 latest because I don't like to work that long. But, you know, editing takes a lot of time. And for now, I'm still doing everything myself.
Huge.
And but the most important time throughout the whole day, besides that,
Yeah.
is when I leave the studio.
Wow.
And that's what I truly believe. The time that I take to when I leave the studio, I leave all my work behind. You know, it's like I worked hard as hell today. 4 o'clock hits, 5 o'clock hits, I'm out. I go home. I spend time with my niece. I spend some time with my family. I go out to see a movie.
You have a girl?
I do not have a girl. But if I did, I'd go spend time with my girl. And, you know, I'd go see like a movie or just truly relax. So then, like, by the time, like, I fall asleep around, like, 9 or 10, I could wake up and do it again.
Wow.
You know? And that has really, like, helped me. And, you know, I mentioned that the past couple weeks have been tough mentally.
Yeah.
It hasn't been because of my schedule. It's just because about like personal life things. But I think if it wasn't for my schedule staying more consistent, like that bump in the road, which is just a part of life right now, would have just been way worse, and it would have completely derailed me, and I wouldn't be able to come here and work.
Wow.
And I wouldn't be able to focus or anything. Like,
Holy shit.
yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at with my schedule and how it's affected me.
Wow. No, you're good. You didn't do anything. Wow.
I go into a tangent sometimes. So
Yeah. Wow.
So where are you at now then? Like, what is your schedule like? How do you keep it together? Because, even though things have blown up for you, I almost feel like there's a bit of a pressure to perform.
Yeah, there always will be.
Mm-hmm.
There always will be. I can't even complain about it because, I was literally in a boy band. I know how it is to feel like shit and then everybody around you wants to smile.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry, everyone around you wants you to smile. And you're like, I'm dying, help me. And everyone's like, nope. Go out there, fucking smile, and wave hi to everybody. You can't let them see you sad. You can't let them see you pissed. Yeah, so
That's
what
tough.
comes with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I like the music I make now, because I'm allowed to be sad and pissed, and I'm allowed to be like weird and creepy and odd and ugly. Not that I'm ugly, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm allowed to be like this weird fucking dude with all these mental problems, because like before I had to hide it in the old projects I was involved in. So now it's kind of like I get to be, yeah, I'm kind of a mess, but like I don't have to like mask it, because people don't really want that in music. Music changed. I think now people want honesty.
Funny, that's crazy that you say that, because the guest who I had on the first week, Pressure, he was even just talking about how the most recent album he released was called Transparent. And he literally just talked about being transparent and being real and just giving people the truth.
Yeah.
And I think that plays a lot into like what we're doing and like what we're trying to do. And even with me, dude. I mean, I'm just trying to be as like,
You're pretty transparent.
yeah.
It's cool that you have you've built enough of a structure that there's something for you to talk about. For me, I haven't built that yet, so I can't even say what my schedule is. I can't even say like how I structure things.
Yeah, but you know what? I still think it's very interesting that you're still reaching, like levels of like, I wouldn't even call it success, but just improvement. And I think that's the biggest thing, because
I'm all about improvement.
yeah.
Because like, I think inevitably people are just gonna like take shit. And then eventually, time comes around, the flower blooms from the dirt, and I speak in metaphors, and people think I'm pretentious because of it. Oh, he's so meta.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this dude said to me once. I think he was really just thinking out loud. My boy, he was like, yeah, you're like the type of person who's like really meta. You'll be like, yeah, sometimes like the sky is the sky and there are clouds in it. And I'm just like, bro, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm out of things to say. I really like, I feel like I have a lot to say, but sometimes I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Even when I have a lot. So at the end of the day, like, everything is everything and nothing is also everything.
I love it. It's the perfect
Thank
contradiction. I live contradictions.
Yeah,
I live
I
contradictions.
definitely feel that.
It's funny how you say you use a lot of metaphors, because with my friends too, whenever I'm giving advice or like I'm ever just being an ear, I'm always like thinking of a metaphor down deep or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I relate to that a lot. Actually.
Yeah,
I relate to that a lot.
I feel like it's the best way to describe, like, that's why they say planting seeds. I feel like that is a very common, normalized metaphor that's really accessible for everybody. Like, just planting a seed, and then as long as you keep improving over time, it grows. And, like, the same way you could plant poison and grow poison, you can plant, like potatoes. And you grow potatoes.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how it works,
The
bro.
potatoes just caught me off guard.
It's really funny. I feel like my music and just what I built with my music is like the only thing keeping people from thinking I'm an idiot. Because sometimes I'm around people and I'm like, yo, like the shit I'm saying if they didn't see what I had going for me, because usually they know, they would probably think I'm so dumb. Because I just say shit. I used to get bullied a lot just for like being stupid growing up.
I'm sorry that happened to you, dude.
That's okay. I don't really think it's like a woe is me situation because now
You're chilling.
I don't think I'm stupid. I'm definitely not stupid.
I definitely feel
a
that.
lot of things. Stupid ain't one of them.
You know,
Definitely not.
I think sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought there. I think that dealing with the emotions, like I don't know. I kind of wanted to get into a little bit. We were chatting a little bit before about what we wanted to talk about, and I think we're kind of circling around the topic of like mental health.
For real? Is that what you were getting at from the beginning?
Not from the beginning.
Okay.
From the beginning, I was just like, I wanted to start off with that story with my friend because I thought that was
nice. That was super cool.
I
I fucking love stories like that. It feels very good. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. I mean, I already believe within that I'm doing something right, but hearing reminders, it's nice. We could all use it sometimes.
You know what? I'll have you choose a number in which way our conversation goes. I don't usually do this, but I have 3 things on my mind. Pick 1.
I was
2,
going to say
or
5.
3.
Isn't that funny?
You were gonna say 5?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't have a 5. I don't have a 5. I have 1,
You don't
2,
have
3.
a 5th finger?
I do have 5 fingers. I just didn't have 5 topics.
I know
in
a
there.
rapper with 4 fingers. No, wait, he has 6 fingers.
6 fingers?
Yeah.
What's his name? I don't know if you can name drop.
Yeah, hold on.
Check him out.
Fuck, my phone's over there. Do you have your phone on you?
I do have my phone.
All right. I want you to look up his name to see if I'm right.
All right.
I'm pretty sure he has 6. Vitamin. VITAMJN.
Oh, Jan?
Yeah, it's spelled with a J. And then show me.
Is this it?
Yeah, I think he has a 6th finger on the corner of his thumb.
I'm trying to look. He has like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he does have 6 fingers.
Yeah.
He does. It's
He
mad
does.
blurry, but it's 6 fingers.
Yes.
It's 6.
Yeah, shout out Vitamin.
Shout out Vitamin, bro.
That's so cool. Yeah, he's dope.
Hey, yo.
I know, right? That's crazy. It's really crazy.
Dude, he got 6
He's
fingers.
the only person I know with 6 fingers.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty fire.
That's wild.
separates you.
That's sick. That's sick. How did we get here?
Yeah, he's in my fans also like on Spotify. Like if you scroll down and see the fans also like section, he's right there.
Does he make Phonk too?
Yeah, he does.
Dude, go check out Vitamin.
Go check out Vitamin right now.
VITMJN_. Go follow him on Instagram, everything, bro. Go listen to his music. That's sick.
It's fire. Only person I know.
I'll just direct this in a direction. One thing I wanted to talk about too is you talked a lot about like how you feel and like staying grounded, staying humble. Like what is that really in practice? Cause
it's hard as fuck.
Word.
I feel like back years ago, my friend did this experiment on me. That sounds really weird.
It does sound very weird.
Yeah, my boys, they did an experiment on me.
Now you're right. Yo, you're making it sound.
I'm dragging it now. I'm really dragging it now. No, I was in a band and they were like, imagine yourself as a box in the desert. Close your eyes. And I pictured myself as a box on the ground, and the other bandmates picture themselves as boxes floating in the air in the desert. So basically what that means is if you imagine yourself as the box floating above the ground, you're cocky. You need to ground yourself. But if you're the box on the ground in the middle of the desert, you are grounded. And back then, it wasn't even that I was necessarily grounded. It was that I had I'm talking like extremely low self-esteem. So that's probably why my box was on the ground. And the other guys around me, it's not even that they had high self-esteem. They just had like some sort of self-belief that wasn't really backed up by enough substantial evidence. So they were more just like arrogant to a degree. Because as a band, right, we were seeing some success very quickly. And when you're 18, 19, even 20 years old and you see a lot of fast success, a lot of the time it either breaks you or it gets to your head and you're like, I'm the shit, I'm the greatest, I am as big as Drake and Justin Bieber and the Beatles. And like in your head, you're like, I'm the fucking shit. But then you could just be like, we're just chilling, we're just another band. But you know, I had low self-esteem though, so we were like two completely opposite extremes. But now, my issue now is that I did the experiment on myself the other week, and I saw the box in the air. And it's not even that I think I'm necessarily cocky, because I don't think that's my problem. My problem is that I struggle with being grounded. It takes a lot. I have to take seconds. I literally have to like breathe super slow, or like eat super slow, or do shit slow as fuck just to ground myself. And it's a bitch, but I have no other way around it. It's like necessary, because when I don't ground myself, I start going a little crazy.
So how do you like reevaluate your perspective and get to that grounding?
I think I have to focus hard on something within the present and remember I'm here right now. Like, I'm here right now. I'm not at a million places in my head, because when I'm in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in New York. I'm back at home. I'm over here in fucking Pennsylvania for no reason. I'm in Ohio. Why am I in Ohio? I'm in like all these places in my head. I'm like somewhere 10 years ago. I'm somewhere 10 years in the future. I'm none of those right now. I'm literally here right now with you. We're literally here in this room. I'm in Boonton, New Jersey right now. I don't know if I was supposed to say where we're at.
You're cool.
Yeah. That's where I am right now. So I think being grounded is just about like, no matter who you are or what you do, where the fuck are you right now, right this second, and be there. Don't be in all those other places. Be there and enjoy the moment. Because that's really what happiness is when you take something that's there in the moment, you appreciate what went into creating that thing, or like what went into making you blessed enough to be there right now. I could be dead right now, but I'm alive right now. That's why I'm here. And if I'm in my head like, oh man, I feel like hell, my throat hurts, etc., my nose is congested, oh my God, this is hell, like all that is just bullshit complaining. At the end of the day, I'm alive, I'm here right now, and I'm blessed and I'm privileged and I'm lucky. And I am elated to be here right now. And I think we should all feel that way if we're present.
Yeah.
The past is painful. The future is sometimes extra painful because we're fucking uncertain of it. So I think my main issue with being grounded was being so stuck in the fucking future. And I just have to be like, yeah, like, future's not here. I'm chilling. We're cool. Calm. No one's trying to kill me. This is not a war zone. There's not like a bunch of rabid dogs running at me right now. This isn't Resident Evil or whatever. Because in my head, that's always what it is. I'm always like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
There was something you said there that kind of struck a chord with me.
What was it?
I find sometimes it's easy for me to forget, and I don't know. I'm just gonna get into it. It was when you said that you don't take a second to be present and look around where you are at the moment and be like, and appreciate what it took to get where you are at.
You see the movie Soul, the Disney movie?
I have seen the movie Soul, yes.
That's where I got it from. That's one of the lessons that movie taught me.
That's sick.
That's one of the few movies that's ever really taught me something. I've seen so many horror movies, dude. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
You'd love chilling with my boy Shane, because he loves horror movies. He loves like.
Oh, I didn't say I love them. I said I've seen all of them. I don't love them anymore.
Okay.
Horror. I've seen so many horror movies it literally became a part of my personality. So now I don't even like to watch them anymore. It's like a part of me that I despise.
Really?
Yeah.
But did they teach you?
That's where like my brand, like the darkness and the creepiness and like the atmosphere kind of comes from. It's the fact that like I have that part of my brain that's ingrained in just horror and thriller. and like genres of movies that are just dark. So like I have the eye for it, but I think those movies can be very poisonous.
How so?
Well, for me, because I literally OD'd on that shit. So that's probably why I feel that way. I feel like for normal people that watch them in moderation, it's like not as bad, you know?
What negative effects do you feel like those movies did to you?
It gives me the wrong set of, it gives me the wrong type of situation to analyze, or the wrong characters to analyze. I feel like when I'm given a set of circumstances to look at and I'm like, okay, like putting myself here, it teaches me valuable lessons. I feel like that's different.
So like it makes you see, like, I'm still a little bit confused. Like
It makes me enter certain scenarios mentally that are it's like me walking myself through PTSD that I don't even have. Or like it's me experiencing trauma through the lens of me, like mentally, not physically, like mentally putting myself through like hypothetical trauma that clearly was a reflection of one of the people that created it. So it's more extreme than me listening to songs. Because when I'm listening to songs, right, it's just not really the same. Versus with the movie, like you're seeing people act it out. You're not left to interpret it for yourself. It's interpreted for you. They're doing it for you. Versus if you were reading the script and you had to imagine something happening, you would do it in your own way. But the director of the movie is deciding for you. Unless the movie is like super ambiguous and super experimental, usually the vision is like decided for you. Which is why in a way books are better than movies, because books, even though like they can be very descriptive, they leave room for you to imagine it how you would imagine it, or have that type of interpretation. But you know, the thing with horror movies, it can be argued. That's interesting.
Sorry.
But yeah, what I'm saying is some horror movies can be argued that they're allegorical. So there's an allegory. So when something's an allegory, that means that you're seeing it for what it is, but you are supposed to interpret it in a different way. So like, let's say like you're watching a slasher flick, but you're like, oh, well, the killer really represents the economy or some shit. And you're like, okay, watching it through this lens has changed the way I see it. But after a while, you start watching these movies, you start taking it in, and you start really feeling, you feel emotions based on like watching people suffer over and over and over and over again. You're feeding yourself. It's like eating junk food, but for your brain, you know?
Yeah. No.
So that's how I feel when I watch all that graphic shit. I'm just like, wow, this is like if my brain was going to McDonald's. And, you know, once in a while it might be okay, but then, you know, shit is poisonous for real. I'd rather watch self-help shit. Well, self-help books are a thing. I don't know about self-help movies, but I'd rather watch like a documentary or a comedy. I'm also like 26 going on 27. So don't get me wrong. When I was like 10, 11, 12, I loved horror movies.
Yeah, I think I was the same.
Yeah, but I took it too far. I watched too many. I OD'd on it. And shit really fucked me up. But it taught me a lot about the world. How dark the world is.
I think there's always a balance between
some of the directors. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're good.
My last point I was gonna say is you're seeing how some of these directors see life, and you're experiencing how fucked up some of these directors are. So some people I would never really want to have a conversation with, and these are the people I'm walking into their brain when I'm watching their creations. And I'm walking directly into their mind. I'm seeing what goes through the mind of some of these very fucked up people when I'm watching these movies. And as a kid exposing myself to that, I'm like, okay, like this is a dude who probably would be a terrible influence on me as an adult, but I'm watching his creations and I'm taking in everything that he feels. And it was very, very toxic, because I'm not even going to like say it's empathy or whatever, but I'd say I'm very analytical. So like that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. I don't think being analytical makes you a good person or a bad person. I think you just are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I
Being
definitely get that.
analytical is just like a trait. Because I know with empaths, people are like, I'm an empath. I'm a good person. Like, no. Your empathy does not make you a good person. Your empathy is like probably like 60% made up too, because a lot of people just bullshit about that. But with being analytical, that's something like I analyze things deeply. So you could imagine as a kid, me analyzing a lot of that content, it was a little bit damaging.
Yeah, because there's some things where when you get exposed to it, you need some guidance. I think there's certain things in life where it's you definitely need, if you're forced to walk alone, sometimes there's nothing you could do about certain
Yeah.
situations. But
Very true.
always having a guide or someone to hold your hand, or at least even give you some of their presence,
Yeah.
can always be so helpful. And I think this stands true to, like going through mental health situations, going through loss,
Yeah.
going through depression, going through all that. Alone is just never the best. But like I said, there's always a balance between this. It's funny how I get into these conversations and I almost always want to contradict what I say, but I think the contradictions just show you how it's not necessarily about one way or the other. It's about balancing the two.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember experiencing like a lot of like messed up stuff, like when I was like 13, 14, watching like super gory videos. I mean,
Yeah.
cartel videos, stupid stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that too, yeah.
And I remember just like ingesting it so much because I didn't know what it was. So I just wanted to see everything.
Yeah, I used to think it was really cool when people could just sit through that and not bat an eye.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, let me be like that. But then I realized, like, it doesn't even make me soft. It just makes me, like I said, analytical. I'm analyzing it too deeply. I watch that shit and I think about it really hard. So I'm like, wow, I wonder how it felt.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This is,
And then I
feel
start
that.
to imagine, like, fuck, what if it was me or someone I know? Because my thing is, like, and I don't think this necessarily makes me like a saint or whatever, but I can't not humanize somebody when I'm seeing something like that.
Yeah.
But then it's easier for people to watch it when they're not necessarily humanizing. When they kind of just watch it in a shallow sort of way, you're like, oh, it's whatever. But then for me, low key, like, I could hide it at first, but eventually I start thinking about it like, wow, I just fucking watched that shit. That's crazy.
I feel like the older you get, and maybe this is just our personalities, because I'm finding a lot of things between us where I could really relate to you, is that, I can't look at somebody and not think about like what they might be going through, or like take a second to like be like, oh my God, like, like here's a perfect example. Going to Jersey City a lot. If you're driving in the highways in Jersey City, or you stop at a highway that has a red light, odds are you're gonna see homeless people, right? And sometimes we dehumanize them, and when they approach our cars, you don't say anything, or like, and I always go through a conflict in my brain, because my parents being from another country and them coming here, they're like, there's always like a stigma where it's like, oh, they're on drugs or they're on this. And sometimes in my mind, I fight between like giving them money or like doing something else and giving them food or giving them, something. And sometimes it sucks because I find myself ignoring as well. Like I've had my moments. I'm not a saint. And I feel like when I ignore, I'm dehumanizing,
I feel that.
But when I can't, and it sucks because instead of even to look at someone who's suffering, sometimes I'll just look the other way because I just don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
And it's hard because then in that situation, this is a whole other conversation, but like in that situation, it's like, oh, what's morally right to do then? You know what I mean? And how much energy will you put out for that, to do that?
Yeah.
But I definitely feel that.
The way I look at it, if you don't put energy into something, you'll just put that energy into something else. Yeah. So, you might have not done something good for somebody specifically that day or like at that time, but you probably did something good for somebody else later that day. You can't help everybody. You can help a lot of people and yourself, but not everybody. And usually you end up helping more people by helping yourself.
Yeah, I've actually been getting into that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Funny enough, what was on my mind too was like the balance between receiving help and also enjoying your seldomness. I found myself when I struggled harder with mental health before and I was in a really dark place, the
Wow.
last thing I would want to do is be alone.
Same.
And now that I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say more advanced, but like I have a better control of like where my mind is, and when I deal with depression, when I deal with really like radical harmful thoughts.
Oh shit.
Like I'm very much more
Crazy that I'm not the only one that goes through that.
Yeah, I think it's a regular thing. It's just
Bruh, as a kid, I thought I was the only one. As a kid, I was like, wow, am I like a psychopath because I deal with all this shit? And I'm like, that's not even what the definition of a psychopath is.
yeah.
As I got older, so I'm like, wow, this is shedding a lot of light I needed to see.
Yeah, because I just think people just don't talk about it, or people might not even realize that they are going through something traumatic, and we have certain, I think, like protection blockers that we use, like mental protection blockers. It's not a great word to use, but just to desensitize.
Crazy how they
ourselves.
hurt us more than they protect us. These protection blockers.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because they're blocking you from processing a part of it. And they're blocking you from understanding what's really happening because they're keeping you blind.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, yeah, it's the weather. It's not the weather. It's something deeper than that. It's always that deep when it comes to changes. Change is not just like a shallow thing. Change is painful and change is deep. So when we go through something in our life or even if we're not going through something, if we're just changing and growing is very painful. Yeah. It hurts.
It's so funny, dude. You have my mind racing because you have you're touching a lot of subjects that I've been dealing with like recently.
Wow.
And it's like, wow.
I'm glad I can do that.
Yeah. Change is very difficult to deal with. And I think no matter where you are mentally, there's still things that you're gonna go through that are going to hurt and put you in a tough place.
Yeah.
And there's definitely I keep saying the word balance, but I truly believe that there's a balance between looking yourself in the mirror, taking some time alone, learning who you are, what you want, and what makes you happy, and then also the difference between getting out there, meeting people who will help you, meeting people who understand you and could help you continue to grow.
Yeah.
I think
Agreed.
I think that balance between the two is super important. I think even like more recently in my life, I'm like, it's funny because I'm happy by myself. I do enjoy my time alone.
It takes me like 5-10 minutes to adjust.
Yeah.
Every time I'm alone, but then I just have to set into it. Be like, okay, I'm here.
But do you find yourself enjoying that time as well, or do you still struggle with some of your alone time?
I struggle sometimes. Also depends on like how much sleep I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah, that could be a thing too. Always want to make sure you're getting enough sleep, dude. 100%.
Sleep is a game changer.
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know when it started. It's funny enough. I was dating this girl like 4 years ago.
That's wow.
Wow, like 3 years ago. That's crazy. Sorry, I just like.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. And one of the things that she made apparent, because at the time I was coming out of a breakup, and like my mind was just like very much like I
met her when you were coming out of a breakup.
I met her at like 2 months after a breakup, right?
Wow.
And
still soon.
Yeah, it was still really soon. And I was still very much like broken, and I just wanted to attach myself to anything, right? And so when I found her, I was very much like boom. But the way she was didn't allow me to attach too hard, because she was so happy with her lonesome, and she had found the balance already in her life, at least in this aspect of like, hey, like the next 2 days, like I really just want to focus on myself. Like I'm not gonna text you. And so when she approached me like that, I was like,
that's fire.
I was like, well, it wasn't fire for me at the moment because I didn't understand, but it is fire. it is fire for someone to be like, hey, I need this time and space. And
As long as they're being serious.
yeah.
They're not just like saying that to hide something.
Yes, of course. But I think like, you know, through her and seeing that, it kind of opened up my mind and being like, hey, like, you know, today, like even I told you before we came into this, like I go to the movies alone sometimes.
Yeah.
And traditionally, like I love seeing movies with people. I couldn't even watch a movie at home alone.
Really?
I could never do that.
I like watching movies alone.
That's wild because I never that never occurred to me.
I like both for different reasons. I kind of like watching shit with people. I like watching shit not with people. Like, I think both are valid in different ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I literally before this year started, didn't watch any type of movie alone for years.
Wow.
Like I don't think I ever like I just got into it this year because so many people come up to me, they're like, oh, have you seen this movie? Oh, have you seen this movie? So when you said oh, did you see Soul? I was like, oh my god, that's actually a movie I saw.
Dope movie.
Right. And but now like I got the AMC Stubs pass where you get like 3 movies a week, so I'll just go to the movies on my free time even if I go alone. Like if somebody could come, great, but like, you know, it's been nice to adjust and realize like, hey, like sometimes like when you're alone, I find myself practicing vulnerability a lot. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, cause like in other cases where I'm with people and I might not want to cry because I'm embarrassed, or I might not want to make a certain sound because like I don't want to be judged. When you're alone, the only person judging you is yourself.
Wow.
And I love me. I love myself. So anything that I do that is me, that it's like, why, like, you know, I laugh at it now. And it's really fun to look at and like be like, hey, like this is me spending time with me and experiencing me and re-solidifying who I am and being confident in that. So like when I take that out, when I'm watching a sad movie or I'm watching something that makes me cry, I don't care what anybody else thinks because it's who I am, you know?
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Word. How you feeling, dude? I'm gonna catch your vibe. I know you're absorbing a lot of everything that's going on right now.
Nah, for some reason, something you said or like something unlocked some sort of weird core memory.
Word.
It's weird.
Do you want to share the core memory? Or you good?
It's just like kind of mundane, and it's one of those things that I feel only makes sense to me. It's like an idiosyncratic sort of thing, where it's like it makes sense to me.
That's all good.
Yeah, I remembered what I like. Yeah, if I explain it, it's just gonna be like, what the fuck?
Could you give us the tiniest spark notes? And even if it doesn't make sense, because I know if I was listening to this podcast right now and you said that and you didn't say something about it,
Yeah.
I'd be going crazy. So just
damn.
literally spark notes, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
So I feel like it's with this girl, and this was like 5 years ago. Not 6 years. Yeah, 5 years ago. I thought it was 6 years, but that would be wild. 5 years ago, I played this show at County College of Morris. And I had to get there at like 8 or 9 in the morning. And like waking up in the morning was like mad easy for me at that time. And there was this girl, she was there. And it was weird with this girl because like we both kind of liked each other, and she was like super forward about like shit. And she was like, you know, she was kind of on demon time. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay.
But me at the time, I was like deep into my celibacy. So like when people would be like approaching me, I would just deflect it. So I think about her a lot, but then I hit her up. I talked to her in like September, October of 2022. And we had like a couple nice conversations, and then like she just kept on like, she just like, I don't know. Sometimes you could tell if like you really try to come back, people are like, no, you had your chance, you fucked up. And then nothing came from it. But now I think back, I'm like, damn, like, what if like nothing was supposed to come out of it? What if it was like supposed to just end there? Because, I mean, I still know her, you know? But, yeah. I think about that shit a lot. Not just her, but just, like, the whole, like, I was celibate for 5 years. Did I tell you about that?
You did say that. Is that something that you want to talk about on the podcast, or?
I feel like we talked about it last time.
I think we did talk about it a little bit. Yeah.
Like, at this point, I'm so tired of talking about that shit because people don't know. Like, the world doesn't know. I mean, a lot of people know, but it's not a secret.
Yeah, I think I had shared too that I don't know if I shared on last podcast that I went through something very similar.
What was celibacy?
Yeah,
How long?
It wasn't necessarily like complete. I want to say completely celibate, but like I was kind of traumatized from like sex for a little bit. For like 2 years.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah,
and so like I didn't.
It's traumatic.
Yeah, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to really. I couldn't share myself in that way. Actually, like I don't know how deep you want to get into this. If you don't mind.
I feel similarly to a degree.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard because after not doing it for so long and after growing up, like kind of just like being hurt.
Yeah,
by people.
Yeah. I felt
kind of just like nobody deserves. Not me. Like obviously, like people deserve me. People deserve you. But it's like you want to keep parts of you like super fucking private because it's the effort, it's the energy.
I see. Yeah, I think for me it's like
an effort thing. Like I'm
for me,
gonna bend over backwards, break my back. Well, not literally bend over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No. No. I do not do that. But what I'm saying is like energy wise, bend over backwards.
You said it again. I'm sorry. I can't.
It's the trying.
Yes.
The trying of just like for another person going to the extent where I'm just gonna like I break it down, right? Like the work that goes in, like I gotta leave my house, go somewhere, implement the effort in that situation in hopes that like it'll work out. And it's just like after like repeated lessons, I'm just like, okay, I could put all this energy into not chasing pussy and into my career instead. And yeah, the only thing is you get FOMO when you have friends that are constantly doing it.
Yeah. No,
I've been my thing. They say comparison is the thief of yeah. Whatever the fuck the quote is. Comparison is the thief. Why do I say thief like thief?
Thief.
That's funny. Comparison is the thief of joy. I got it. I did it. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I think it's really hilarious. I should do stand-up about it because artists are always like, comparison is the thief of joy. You can't compare your numbers. They're always doing it with streams. And I'm over here like, that's not what I'm doing it with. Like, I'm jealous of you and your relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here and artists are like jealous of me because I like, you know, because of why they would be. And I'm jealous of them because a lot of them are in very like healthy, stable relationships that I hate to say it might take away from their careers.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm still a little jealous though.
There's like there's a couple of directions you could go there, but continue, please continue.
Oh man, a lot of people are gonna think I'm subtweeting them because I went on my close friend's story because I got really pissed. I was like dealing with like sugar withdrawals because I was cutting out junk food, so I was extra irritable. I was pissed. I was like, have you ever smoked cigarettes?
I've never smoked cigarettes.
So you don't know what it feels like to like have withdrawals and have to quit or have a craving?
Not like that, but I was kind of hooked on vapes for a little bit. I hate to say that.
How did you get off it?
I threw it out and I just I don't suggest this, but I just cold turkey it. And then cold
turkey is what works for me with certain things too. It's hard. Yeah. Cold turkeying shit is hard, but like for some people it kind of works.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to walk a habit out step by step though.
Yeah, that's how I suggest everything as step by step. But when it came to vaping, it was kind of just like I'm gonna just be quick with it. I just cold turkeyed it because it ran out.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I'm just not gonna buy another one.
Okay.
And then that was just like, and then the withdrawals for the next
I'm
2 weeks.
happy that you
Terrible.
stopped. I hate vapes, bro.
Yeah, they're really.
I'm
bad
not a
for you.
vape guy.
Yeah, they're so bad for you.
Vape guy, not a vape guy.
Vape guy, not a vape guy. That's perfect.
Very funny. But yeah, anyway, so what I was getting at was like,
Relationships getting in the way of your career.
well, first I'm talking about why I was so pissed.
Okay, boom.
I was
Yeah,
going
sorry.
through these withdrawals because I was
Yes.
eating a lot healthier. I slipped back up and I started eating junk food again like a week or two later. But like I was on a very solid healthy streak, but I was just craving, bro. I was having these cravings and I was getting pissed. So I was like, damn, why the fuck is everyone I know in a happy, healthy, romantic situation and I'm not? I'm over here by myself. So my mind needed something to be pissed about. So I immediately jumped to that. And then I went on my close friend's story and I just started talking my shit. And I was like, yeah, like all these artists are crying to me for advice. Why don't you go fucking start a family, bro? Yeah, why don't you go cuddle or something, bro? Or like go fuck. Stop asking me for shit, bro. And then a couple people got really salty. Not salty. They thought I was taking shots at them.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I was like,
you're kind of just shooting everywhere, so it's bound to hit
Yeah.
somebody, right?
and here's the problem. 90% of rappers I know are in relationships. So you
were
can
basically
imagine
talking
how
about
many
everybody.
people. Yeah, I'm pretty much aiming at everybody.
Yeah.
But like one or two people in specific, I could tell they saw that. They were like, why is he so salty? And like, obviously, like, once I go and like get my fix again, because I'm weird with food, bro. I think I don't want to say I have an eating disorder, but like sometimes the eating is disorderly.
Mhm.
So like once I get that certain chemical I need, I become soothed again. I'm like, what relationship? I'm good.
Word.
I don't need shit. But then once I go without it, I'm like, fuck, I'm like a fiend.
Word.
And I start, you know what I mean? I start going crazy again. But yeah, so it was a lot of food for thought because I think deep down, of course, I'm a little bit jealous. But what's beautiful for me is that like I feel like I'm comfortable embracing my jealousy. Because my jealousy is not music related. It's like other shit. With music, I don't get jealous. Whenever I'm on Instagram and I see one of my boys or like just someone I know crack 1 million monthly listeners, because it happens a lot, I'm like, wow, that's fire. And I actually smile. Sometimes I giggle. Like, not like hee hee, but like, ha, that's fire. It's more like a proud dad giggle. It's like, that's cool as fuck.
Word.
Not that dudes are my sons, but like a friend, sort of. Like
I
you're cheering
get-
on your friend.
I get it.
Like you're watching like a fucking football game
Uh-huh.
or like a basketball game and someone scores.
Mhm.
Do they use the word score for all sports?
I think so.
Yeah, someone just like is winning. I love seeing people win in music because we all know how hard it is to win in music. So when I
Yes.
see somebody genuinely win in music, I'm like, that dude overcame a lot to get there. He fucking deserves it. But then when I see one of my boys get into a relationship with a really hot girl, I'm like, you fucking fuck. I am not happy for you.
That's wild, dude.
Should have happened to me instead.
It's
No, I don't take it that far. I
Uh-huh.
just think it's funny to joke about because it's a meme.
Yeah, yeah.
It's literally a
Yeah.
meme.
And it's
Like,
something that you deal with, bro. Like it's something that you deal with.
It's a give and take. Like there's
Uh-huh.
things in my life that make me very happy. And like I've never really had a good love life, but I've learned how to flip that into like enjoying other shit. Like I have really dope friendships. I have a really dope music career that I'm continuing to grow. And sometimes the fuel for it is my fucking shit. Whatever that is. Like I feel jealous. Oh, let me just make a song about it. And I do. And it resonates with people because they could tell it's coming from an authentic place. Because they're like, oh, this dude is like probably actually salty about this shit. And you know, instead of I don't know. I don't usually talk shit on social media a lot, so I usually just literally save it for the music.
I think that's probably like the best way to go about it.
Yeah,
is
I just put it in the songs.
expression through art, because that way people could really just like feel it and like general. I don't want to say
Yeah.
generalize it, but yeah, generalize it and just like feel it. You know?
Yeah.
Because if somebody else, you know, it's funny. Like like I said, like you know, I like listening to music that has to do with how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So like you know.
A
And
lot of people are like that. They're
Yeah.
not necessarily looking for happy. Like, it's not what I said about movies. It's different.
Mm.
Versus a sad movie or a scary movie, not even scary, just like a graphic movie with a lot of death, I'll watch it. It'll ruin my fucking day. But then I listen to songs about it. I'm like, okay, this gives me room to interpret this from my standing, and this gives me room to listen to it in a way that's not gonna fuck up my day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can make me feel better. Like a lot of times I'll listen to music with very like explicit lyrics. It actually makes me feel better.
Word.
It's dope.
You know, I think it's crazy music wise. Like,
Wait, I have one more question.
Yeah,
Have you seen Marley and Me?
I have not seen Marley and Me.
How you feel about it when you watch a movie, you see a dog die in the movie?
Oh, I get heartbroken. I get
A lot of people say it fucks them up more than seeing people die.
You know what? I used to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm like that anymore.
Yeah.
Because
To me, the dogs are never as good as actors as the people are.
well, the thing is, like,
That's why.
I've lost my dog before.
Okay. I think I've never owned a dog, so it's different for me.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what's weird? This is actually something I wanted to say before. Whereas I think when you get older
Mm-hmm.
and you deal with things in your life that are actually personal to you.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, like my dog passed. Like,
Sorry about that.
Thank you. I don't know how to right way. I don't know the right way to respond. Thank you. I'm about to just drop some bullshit. If I say thank you, my bad.
You're good.
But
No, I'm glad it was a positive interaction, you know?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So my dog passed. Then the year after that, my mom passed. And then the year after that,
Oh,
like I
fuck.
lost my best friend.
Oh my
So
God.
I know it's been a crazy ride, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like 3 years in a row. It's like just wild, right? And so between those years, you know,
That's they say death comes in threes.
do they? I think
People say that. I mean, it's obviously doesn't always happen, but
Yeah.
the way you just explained that was
Explained it, yeah.
very crazy to me.
yeah.
You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry.
You know what? It's
Holy
It's
shit.
brought a lot back more of like I don't want to say my humanity, but like in a sense before, like when I lost my dog, right? And like if I would see like a dog die in the movie or something,
Yeah.
like it's always connected to human stuff now because before like I would see a dog die and then I would just think about how I've humanized my dog and like have been like, yo, like I can't believe that life is gone. Like my best friend is gone.
Oh my God.
But now, like, if I saw a dog die, not only would I feel those emotions, but I'd also be like, "Oh my God, how is the owner feeling? Like, what does he have to go
oh
through?"
my
'Cause
God.
I've been.
I
through
think
that
about
now.
that shit too.
Yes, that's what. So
Holy shit.
that's what things make things so difficult for me now because that's when I start thinking too
I
much.
think about the families of the victims.
Yes.
I always think
Yes,
about, oh shit,
yes.
like the best friend.
yes,
Like with XXX, I think about Ski Mask the Slump God, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God.
yeah.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
so bad.
And the way you go experiencing things
Yeah.
more, you start like really. I think that was a good point to when you were saying before, like I can't watch horror movies that much, or when you were saying I can't watch horror movies that much because I do think too much. Like I've been through the process of like having to bury my mom and deal with, you know, like there's so
That's
much.
so fucked,
Yeah,
bro.
and there's so many things that you have to deal with that people don't think about,
Yeah,
you know, because
yeah.
and it's not even just like a 1 month process or 2 week process. I would even say like from now because she passed in 2020, it's 2023.
Yeah.
We had just buried her in Peru at the beginning of this year. So January 3rd was the funeral. And it was like, and between all of that time, you know, we had her school do a memorial for her, presentations, friends reach out, people who, because when she died during COVID, like it was very hard and everybody was jumbled up. There was people who didn't find out that she passed a year after she passed.
That's
you know?
crazy.
So it was like, and I think about that, and you know, so for example, somebody says like, oh my God, like my cousin got into a car crash, or hey, like or this person passed away. It's like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm more sensitive in the sense I'm like, how's the family? Is this okay? Like, do you need any food? Did you ever find yourself not knowing what to do? Because now I feel like I know what to do.
Often, yeah.
And now it hurts even more, but it feels good at the same time to be like, okay, like I could say something. I used to struggle with death a lot because somebody would die. Like, for example, like my friend's mother passed away, and I didn't know what to do at all except be present, which was the only thing I could do.
I've been there for sure.
You know, but now that I look back, I'm like, well, if I had to do it again, I would have done exactly what I did,
Yeah.
except stop feeling so sorry for myself.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that's the only thing, because
Yeah.
I just felt bad because I wasn't doing enough, and I felt so helpless.
You might be doing enough.
And like, it's like,
honestly. Yeah,
the
you
best you
probably
could
are.
do sometimes is just be there.
Yeah.
Or like literally anything. Like,
I was in that situation recently where literally like I don't necessarily know what to do, but I have to just be there, be present for the people involved. Because like the best I can do is enough.
yes.
As long as showing up is a big part of life. And in situations like that, showing up is especially important. Because life shit and death shit, it happens. And the best thing we can do is like show that we give a fuck. Because so much of the world doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't matter. It's about the people around you.
Yes.
You need to have people that give a fuck.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much.
So much of the world is so cold. So we should appreciate what we have.
I love how we ended here. I wanna track back a little bit.
Yeah.
To music, because that's something that we've we got here.
Got into relationships.
We got into relationships, and then
Me being salty on my close friends.
and then you were talking about how you would rather just talk about it in your music, and so people could relate to music, right?
Oh yeah.
And,
they relate when the emotion is present. They're like, oh shit, he's something pissed him off. And the beat is fire.
I want to get into your music, dude.
Yes.
I really do, because I don't think I remember so much, because it's funny, when you came here for the first time, again, it's like...
We talked about hyperpop. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Did you think I made hyperpop?
I honestly had still such a problem defining these genres,
Okay.
because I feel like
So you just didn't really know what category
exactly
it was. Okay, yeah.
So when you said hyperpop or anything like that, I was like, okay, he makes them, because sometimes people say indie, right? And like, for example, I think for a while, if I had to describe funk, I would just be like, oh, this is like indie trap, or indie.
That's dope. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've never heard somebody refer to funk as indie trap, but I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Well, it's closer to indie dance, because like house beats and trap beats are generally different.
Yes. Very
'Cause
much so.
trap beats have a certain like, I think it's a BPM thing. It's a BPM range.
I think so too, but at the
House
same
beats are totally different vibe.
yes, but
Yeah.
there are similarities in the sense where I almost feel sometimes like it's like rap, right?
Yeah.
Or like you could say it's rap, and also just like the tone of the voice, and especially the tone specifically of your voice, right? Made me feel like it's almost like this grungy, almost trap thing, but it was also like dance. So I was like, well,
it's a combination of two opposite spectrums.
Yeah.
It's like a very bright end of things that gets you moving, and it combines with like a very dark, like sitting in the corner type of vibe with the I want to get up and dance type of vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like both coming together.
I want to get up and dance, but it's also like a little dark. Yeah, you said, like a little dark, and I don't know, it's fun. And
Thank you.
And then finally, when like I was like, okay, this is funk, because then when I started listening to like now this is suggested radio and got off of just your music and just listen to everybody in the spectrum of what's in there, I'm like, oh, like this is a sound.
Who else do you peep?
Names I'm terrible at. I'm terrible at
Prompto?
names. I've only
Sad Friend.
I have listened to Sad Friend.
Yeah,
Yes, I
Sad
have
Friend
listened
is
to
dope.
I listened to Sad Friend.
Vendetta?
Yes, Vendetta too.
Yeah.
There's one artist, I don't know if you just named, but they spelled
Prompto?
not Prompto. I don't recognize that. But there's this one with
Sinister.
yes, Sinister. I have
Yeah.
listened to Sinister before.
Fire.
Yes.
Dope.
Very
Bearded
dope.
Legend.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I could honestly say like I
Okay.
remember.
Okay, no, I hear you.
But yeah, I've been kind of just
Shout out
diving
those
into
guys.
yeah, big shout out to them, yo.
Hell
because it's been dope. Just kind of like it really feels like a steady sound. Whereas I'm like, this is dope.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it before, but
Branches into a lot of different directions because funk is broad. Funk is what you said, trap, but it's also dance. So indie trap, I feel like that leans towards more like the different style of funk because funk is like slower sometimes and it's faster.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the word indie is just so broad, and for me, like indie less means I guess the word itself.
Yeah.
It more just means like this is another genre within a genre.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is basically what I mean by indie, right? So what I'm interested is, where do you think funk is going? Do you think it's here to stay? Do you think it's just like a short, like viral sensation, or do you think it's kind of similar to, for example, Jersey Club, where like Jersey Club has always been around. It's been around
Exactly.
since I was little, but right now it's taking like a huge front lead in like pop music.
Jersey Club is often integrated into other things. So it's used as a style that combines with another style to make it more interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you think funk is here to stay?
Yeah.
How do you?
Funk has been around for decades now.
I actually didn't know that. So when do you think funk really started? I feel like more recently it's kind of getting its legs.
I
But
feel like its roots are in the 90s, really got more upfront in the early 2000s with like the more traditional, like original type of funk, which is like 3-6 Mafia. And then all of these different producers started melding their own styles into the Southern hip hop influence to blend it all together.
so who are some funk artists today that you feel are like leading the charge?
Harper, Haarper. Harper for sure. Sempra, SXMPRA. Sad Friend, Sinister. Who else? Freddie Dredd. Freddie Dredd is more like the first term you said, like indie trap, like lo-fi trap, with the lo-fi vibes, like analog tape style effects to make it sound like this, like it gives it this atmosphere like you're in like an old horror movie, but it's really, really, it's more fire than what I'm describing. He's huge. He has almost 10 million monthly listeners. Tours, headline shows, like he's big. Freddie Dredd, they've transcended the scene because they've been around since like 2013. But Suicide Boys, Suicide Boys, I consider them like a leading force in funk, but they just like they pretty much have their own sort of genre. So yeah, Suicide Boys. You could even argue that like all the other artists within that spectrum are also funk. You could make the argument that Xavier Wolf, Night Lavelle, Bones, you could put a debate and say all of this whole style is funk because it's like the type of flow, the type of BPM. It's just like the overall style, even when cowbells aren't used, because cowbells often are used to categorize and characterize funk, but it's not always the cowbell. It's a different element. It's hard to put your finger on, but it's there. Yeah. Funk is more broad than people think it is, because when you're talking about like cowbell funk, like house funk, like I'm known for rapping over the beat. I'm known for rapping over those beats with the cowbells, and like a lot of other people are too. But there's plenty funk artists who very much are a part of the genre who don't rap over like what you would expect in your head. What, the Giga Chad?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's not. There's so much more to it than that. That's like one type of funk. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting how these genres, even though they've existed for a while, are still kind of the Giga Chad thing. I'll start with that. I think it's added a lot to the popularization of funk.
Yeah, the viral type of funk is now helping everybody realize what all funk is. So now, but a lot of people already listen to Suicide Boys and they listen to like Xavier Wolf, and they might not even know what funk is or what funk means. They just like those artists because those artists are huge outside of this lane. Whereas you have people like me that are blowing up because of funk, because like I was able to build myself within this community and build with the people in the community. But like it would have been different if I was just doing what I was doing without realizing it was funk, and then it just so happens to align with it. Me, I found the community and I entered it knowing like, yeah, I'm gonna be making funk.
So when did you realize that funk was your groove?
I really, really took interest in 2020. I was really fucking heavy with like Harper, Jadesy, Satori Zoom, Dago. I have a song with Dago. This other artist I made a song with that never came out, D Cool Pharaoh. I think that's his name. He had some cool Phonk stuff. Freddie Dredd I thought was cool too. Who else? Trying to think of who else at that time I was listening to that was making Phonk. It's hard. 2020 was more just like a broad sort of thing.
And how was that transition like for? Because
2020. At first I was really into trap metal.
Mm-hmm.
I was really fucking with like. Cause trap metal and Phonk are very adjacent. Because a lot of trap metal artists, they either started doing Phonk or they have been doing Phonk. Like the D Cool artist I mentioned, like he was more so engaged in trap metal. And then you had Scarlord. I've always been a fan of Scarlord. He started doing Phonk, I'd say, like, within recent times. Yeah. Adjacent communities, they sort of meld together.
Yeah. So tell me, now that you're pretty much, I'd say you have a good foothold in where you are. Like
I'd say so, yeah.
You're in a pretty decent place. What now is the goal? Like, what is the next step for you? What's going through your mind now?
Keep strengthening the Cone Gang agenda.
I love that.
I have to pee so bad.
Go pee.
One second.
Yeah, I'll give him a second. While he is peeing, I think this is a perfect time to tell you guys that the podcast is not sponsored. We have no sponsor. Every single artist that we have and every single podcast that we do is completely funded by myself and my side work that I do. So I've never charged an artist for coming on here. I've never charged anyone for a podcast. I don't know why I stopped there. I was really trying to think. I was like, have I ever charged anybody for a podcast? I've never charged an artist for a podcast. We'll leave it at that. So if you can, I don't know. I'm so awkward right now. It's because I'm hearing Ethan peeing. I'll cut out his pee. But if you guys could please just leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you've thought about the podcast up until this point. Give me a follow on Instagram. My goal this year is to reach 1,000 followers on YouTube. If we can get monetized this year, it would make me so incredibly happy. Like, I've been working on this for so hard. We are in year 3, even though it's season 4, we're in year 3. And yeah, a comment and like and subscribe would mean the absolute world to me. If you guys are listening to this, it helps support what I do, and it helps me bring in more artists and, you know, give them a platform. So I really appreciate that. Much love always from Ayoo Chill. I got merch coming out soon, a website coming out soon, and yeah, that's really it. I guess I'm kind of just speaking here. Until he comes back. Yeah. I guess I'm just waiting. He just flushed. I just want to let you know he just flushed. He will be back here shortly. How you guys doing? Hope you guys having a great day. We shared a lot of weird things on the podcast so far. I feel like we've dove into a little bit of relationships. We're all over the place. It just feels good though. How you guys liking this? I feel like sometimes I try too hard to make a certain conversation happen, but still learning here, guys. Still learning what to do. Now I'm just rambling. We're just going to sit here in silence until he comes back. I'll take a drink. I like the fact that everything's raw. No cuts, no nothing. He's coming back.
I'm back.
How was it, dude? Was it
Amazing?
Peed
a lot.
I'm glad. I'm
Yeah,
glad. I'm glad you did.
Picking up the headphones is crazy.
Yeah.
I thought of some really important points while I was in there.
Yes, please.
With Phonk. So it's noticeable that when I do vocals and when a lot of like these artists within the scene do vocals that we use layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it sounds like there's 3 of me.
Yes.
In a way. Yeah. That is like a very common thing within like the underground community. It's a vocal style. And so to the fans, they're hearing the vocal effects and the atmosphere that's set. And that, to some people, that might make it all funk, even when the beat is not necessarily funk. It makes it funk because of like the type of flow and the phrasing of the words and just the way the vocals are layered and panned to the sides. That gives it the funk essence. Even though it's not always funk, it could be a totally different genre, but it is. In the fans' ears, they group it all together. They put the playlists are like funk rap, and in it they'll put like me, Night Lavelle, Suicide Boys, Puya, Sad Friend, Prompto, and like a lot of us don't make all funk songs. You know, we all make different genres, but the vocal style to a lot of people, it resonates in that way. It has that effect, that dark atmospheric, like you're surrounded sort of effect.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool point, because there is some things within your song where I'm like, yeah, this is like the like what you just said, like the things that kind of like
Yeah.
transcend a lot of funk songs in general to like put them together into this grouping there.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a style of rap. It's a very specific style of hip hop that a lot of people label as underground, but like I feel like eventually the word funk is going to be used in a really broad sense once people realize how many subgenres are within funk.
Yes.
As opposed to funk just being a subgenre of rap or dance, like funk itself is. It just is. Like there's a lot to it. There's a lot more than people know.
So
Look at how big Juicy J is.
this is I
Huge.
yes. I don't think I'm familiar with Juicy J.
Really?
I could double check. I'm really
3-6 Mafia?
actually yes. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
There you go.
There was something I wanted to bring up when it comes to, well, kind of what we were talking about before you went to the bathroom. Your career, where it's at now. I know you said you're gonna keep grinding and everything, but I feel like
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm literally just getting started.
yes,
I'm blessed with imposter syndrome because it makes me go so much harder. I never feel like I am where I am. I'm just like, I have to keep going. I gotta go crazy.
So have you seen anything though that's changed, like significantly, where it's different now than it was
Okay.
a couple months ago?
In person?
Anything and everything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's hard for me to think about what, because I feel like in person it always depends on how I act. Because if I go places and I still act like I'm nobody, people treat me like nobody. But if I go somewhere and I act like, you know, I'm someone, people are like, oh, he's someone. It all depends on me at the end of the day.
Where do you find yourself being more regularly?
Physically?
Guess mentally. Whereas in, are you going to a lot of places where you are feeling like you're somebody? Oh well, not internally, but like, do you see
Well,
yourself?
I have self-esteem issues that I deal with, so it's just like, yeah, it all falls on me. I feel as though the way the world views me is up to me, because I choose the way I project myself. So, at the end of the day, if I'm feeling good about myself, that's gonna change the way everybody feels about me that I meet that day. Or like, if I feel shitty about myself, that's potentially gonna impact the way people see me that whole day. When I go from place to place, they could see it on my face.
Word.
Like, usually people pick up on it very fast. Yeah.
I feel like we got to a lot of topics today that I'm really into.
Same.
We're coming pretty close to the end of the podcast,
I would imagine.
but I want to open up the floor to you. If there's anything that you feel like we didn't get to, if there's anything that you wanted to talk about, anything at all, the floor is now yours.
I just want to say how happy and impressed I am that like this podcast was so different from the last one. I feel like you just like you came into this with this whole understanding of this like this world. This like separate world. Like we didn't even talk about anything local.
Yeah, that's actually pretty wild.
I feel like that's because I think you understood why that's not even necessary for us to talk about. Because there's like this whole other like, you know, I think I'm the only funk rapper in New Jersey.
You might be.
Yeah.
You might be.
That's crazy.
I always say like the second podcast I ever have with anybody is always so much more comfortable, and we always get into deeper topics.
Yeah.
Because to a certain extent, when I have people on for the first time, I do need to give my audience context. I feel like I'm still learning and going back and forth on like how to become a better host and get to things that I want to quicker, and like not to dive too deep into things. Because when I started podcasting, I don't want to say like I was interviewing like people like easily said like nobodies or something, but like I would be interviewing people who have no social media, they don't post anything up, they don't have anything they've done in the last 5 years, and I have to make it interesting for the people to want to listen. So, but now it's getting to a cool point because now I'm getting to know more creators, and I'm getting to know more people who have stuff. So like, I feel like I don't have to hark too much on those things.
Definitely not.
And now, especially since we're past that first podcast, it's kind of like I came into this, I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. Whatever we talk about, we talk about. As long as we're passionate and care about what we're talking about, that's all that matters.
Fuck yeah.
And I actually do wanna end on this kind of a note and a conversation too. The last podcast we had, some of the last of our conversation like changed the way, like it literally was a pivotal stepping stone for me and how I continue to operate this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, dude. And like and it's funny because it's stuff that people have been telling me for a long time, and I look back at it, I'm like, wow, like why was Ethan the one that it just like hit me? But I also think like through us going through the podcast today, I feel like we have a lot of similarities in the way we think.
Yeah.
And like how I feel like you explain something and I almost feel like I could really empathize and like kind of get where you're coming from. Cause I think sometimes I'm easily misunderstood. And
oh wow.
I feel like you maybe feel
You don't seem that hard to understand.
Sometimes I feel like
you're clear.
I feel like that too, but then sometimes people don't understand it. I just like
I've been there too, yeah. It's crazy.
And it's cool, and yeah, dude. I just want to thank you because
thank you.
It's not all the times where after a podcast like I really feel like somebody is like a friend or somebody who I could like connect to at all. But like,
damn, I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. Like I really feel comfortable, and I think that you say a lot of things that people could get behind, and it's just cool to see. It's really just cool to see. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please let the people know like where they could find you, any shout outs that you have. Now's the time to do it, man.
My name is Ethan Ross on all platforms. You can find me literally everywhere. Shout out Baggage Claim.
Is that what we're
yeah, I think less is more.
Bet, dude. You already know the business, guys. Ayoo Podcast, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you find your podcast, wherever you find your podcast videos, you will find Ayoo Podcast there. Remember to like, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year so we can finally get monetized. That would make my heart so full, guys. So please don't forget. And yeah, dude, there's only one thing left to do. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's do this shit.
I was getting ready to take my headphones off. I don't even have them.
But boy.
Bro,
that was fire.
Dude, thank you, dude. That was great. That was great, bro. That was great.